Right now, you are bored. Maybe you are scrolling. Maybe you opened this video because nothing else felt interesting enough. Maybe you sat down with a full afternoon ahead of you and felt that strange, hollow restlessness creep in before you even knew what to do with it. You call it boredom. You treat it like a modern inconvenience, a product of too much screen time, too little productivity, a failure of your attention in an age of infinite distraction. But here is what nobody tells you. That hollow feeling you are trying to swipe away right now is not a glitch in your brain. It is a survival signal, and it is 300,000 years old. Your ancestors felt it standing at the mouth of a cave. They felt it in the quiet hours between hunts, when the fire had died down and the night had grown still. They felt it in every unoccupied moment their minds had ever known. And it did not mean they were lazy or broken or overwhelmed by modern life. It meant their brains were working exactly as designed. To understand why boredom exists, you have to go back to the savannah. Not the boredom you know, the mild irritation of a slow Tuesday, but something older, sharper, and far more urgent. Something that may have determined whether your ancestors lived or died. The human brain, as neuroscientist James Dankert at the University of Waterloo has spent decades studying, is not built for rest. It is built for readiness. At every moment, even when nothing is happening, your brain is running what researchers call a default mode network, a kind of background process that activates precisely when you are not focused on anything. It reviews your past. It simulates your future. It scans your environment for anything that might matter. It searches. That searching feeling is boredom. It is not emptiness. It is activation without direction. Your brain is revving at full throttle with nowhere to go, and it registers that mismatch as discomfort. The discomfort is the point. It is designed to make you move. Think about what that meant on the savannah. A band of early humans, Homo sapiens just like you, had spent the morning foraging. The afternoon was quiet. No immediate threat. No food to track. No fire to build. If your ancestors had been content to sit in that quiet and do nothing, they would have left fewer offspring. They would have missed the berry patch 2 valleys over. They would have failed to notice the storm forming on the horizon. They would have been less ready. The ones who felt uncomfortable doing nothing, who were driven by that inner restlessness to explore, to plan, to create, to look. Those were the ones who survived. You are descended from those people. Their boredom is your boredom. Genetically, neurologically, at the level of the firing pattern of your neurons, what you feel when you stare at a blank wall is the same signal that once sent a human walking across an unknown landscape to see what was on the other side. Psychologist John Eastwood at York University calls boredom a failure of attention. But that framing misses something. It is not that your attention fails. It is that your attention is looking for something worthy of it and cannot find one. That distinction matters more than it seems. Because the brain does not register boredom as neutral, it registers it as a threat. Studies by researchers Timothy Wilson and Daniel Gilbert at Harvard found that subjects left alone with their thoughts for just 15 minutes found the experience so uncomfortable that a significant number chose to give themselves mild electric shocks rather than sit with nothing to do. They chose pain over the absence of stimulation. Let that land for a moment. You would rather hurt yourself than be bored. That is not a character flaw. That is your ancient brain screaming at you to move, to act, to find something. Because in the world that built you, stillness without purpose was dangerous. But here is where it gets strange. The same restlessness that once sent your ancestors exploring is now colliding with a world that has infinite stimulation on demand. Every moment of emptiness can be filled instantly. A swipe, a click, a tap. You never have to sit with the discomfort long enough for it to do its job. And what is its job? Researcher Sandy Mann at the University of Central Lancashire found something that upended the conventional view of boredom entirely. She discovered that boredom, specifically the experience of sitting with nothing to do and no way to immediately escape it, significantly increases creativity. Subjects who were asked to perform a monotonous task before a creative challenge consistently outperformed those who skipped straight to the creative task. Your brain, left without stimulation, begins to generate its own. It makes connections. It wanders into unexpected territory. It solves problems you did not know you were carrying. The very discomfort of boredom is the pressure that forces your mind into creative overdrive. This is not a coincidence. This is exactly what it was designed to do on the savannah. When the hunt was slow and the afternoon was long, your ancestors' minds did not shut down. They planned, they invented, they imagined. They drew on cave walls. They told each other stories. They worked out how to make the spear fly farther and the fire burn longer. Boredom was the engine of human invention. And for 300,000 years, that engine ran on scarcity of stimulation. It was powered by the gap between what your brain wanted and what the world provided. Now the gap is gone. You fill every empty second. You open your phone before you are even aware of feeling bored. You preempt the discomfort so efficiently that your brain never gets the chance to do what boredom was built to trigger. The searching never ends. The direction never arrives. And you wonder why you feel restless even after hours of scrolling, why you feel oddly unsatisfied after a full evening of entertainment, why the more content you consume, the less content you feel. The paradox is this: the more you escape boredom, the more of it you create. Because your ancient brain is still running its ancient software. It is still looking for the thing worth paying attention to. It is still waiting for you to move, to explore, to create. And the flood of stimulation you pour into it is not the answer it is searching for. It is noise. You are not addicted to your phone because you are weak. You are not endlessly distracted because you lack discipline. You are caught between a 300,000-year-old system built for a world that no longer exists, and a modern environment that your nervous system was never designed to navigate. Your brain was built for scarcity and handed abundance. That collision is what you feel when nothing feels like enough. So what do you do with that? You do not have to retreat to a cave. You do not have to throw your phone into a river or fill your life with productive busyness to outrun the restlessness. What you can do is something far simpler and far harder. You can sit with it. The next time boredom arrives, before you reach for your phone or your remote or anything that fills the gap, try waiting. Not forever, just long enough to feel the signal. Long enough to let your brain do what 300,000 years of evolution designed it to do in exactly that moment. Let it search. Let it wander. Let it make something from nothing. Your ancestors stood at the mouth of the cave and felt this exact discomfort. They did not know it would drive them to paint bison on rock walls, to trace stars across the sky, to walk across continents and remake the planet in their image. They just knew something in them said, move, look, find. Tonight, when you feel that hollow restlessness settle in and nothing seems interesting enough, you will know exactly what that signal is. It is not boredom. It is 300,000 years of human curiosity, still alive in you, still looking for something worth your attention. The question is whether you will let it find it.